Greetings from outside the Johnson Sports Center here on the Northwest Nazarene University campus. I'm Sports Information Director Mike Stetson. I want to thank you for joining us for this week's edition of the Crusader Coaches Corner Show. Behind me is the baseball field where the Crusaders will be hitting the field for practice here in a few minutes on what will be determined yet this week, whether they'll be playing a road series at home against Western Oregon or in Portland against the Wolves. Crusader men have had a good start to the spring. They are second in the conference at 5-3, and we'll sit down with head coach Rocke Musgraves, talk about what's been going right for the Crusaders here so far in GNAC play. Also this week at home, the Crusader softball team will be taking on Central Washington. Don't forget to come out Friday and Saturday, cheer the ladies on to victory. They are fourth in the conference right now, 3-3 overall in GNAC play, having a heck of a great spring. All of those games on the road, as they've been a tough team to beat across the league. Now I want to thank you and say welcome to this week's edition of the Crusader Coaches Corner Show. Welcome to this week's Crusader Coaches Corner Show. Today we're joined by head baseball coach Rocke Musgraves, whose team's off to a fantastic start in GNAC play, second place, only because Central Washington hasn't had a couple of games. But first off, thanks for joining us.
You bet, thank you.
And second, talk about what's been going on the last couple of weeks. Obviously, the team's playing pretty well in GNAC play.
Well, I think we're winning some games. I wouldn't say we're playing well, which is a compliment to my guys, believe it or not. And what that means is I just think there's some things that we can do even better. And if we just keep improving and not get feeling, hey, we're winning some games, so we're okay. No, we need to keep getting better, and I think we'll do that.
Obviously, when you talk about getting better and improving, that will be the big test this weekend as you play the 12-time, 13-time, if you throw in the conference tournament championship last year, Western Oregon. What has to go right for you guys to get wins against the Wolves?
Well, I tell you what, Western Oregon, they're the standard bearer of the conference. They just do so many things well. And, it starts with their recruiting. They recruit very good players that fit their system in their ballpark. And then they do a great job of running their system, which usually involves very fundamental baseball, very good defense, very good pitching, moving runners, doing the little things it takes to score runs. So generally they like to get involved in those 5-4, 3-2 games. So you got to take care of bases when you play those type of games.
You guys, you've had success against them, except not at their field. One win each of the last 2 years at their ballpark. What is it that is magical about their place for that team?
Well, it's a place where the ball doesn't fly real well. And, our guys are kind of built around hitting a lot of fly balls, maybe getting some balls in the air. And, the fly balls go to die. You got to keep the ball on the ground and hit line drives there and move runners and play some small ball, and that's their strength. They do that very well. And plus, they just do such a good job of battling with 2 strikes. And their pitchers, I found over the years, they do tend to walk some people, but they just don't really give you anything to hit. And they do a great job of battling around those walks and run prevention and damage control. And they're just a very well-coached team.
You mentioned the long ball. We saw a lot of that this weekend. 3-in-1 inning against Billings in the first game of the weekend. But at times also against St. Martin's and Billings, the big rallies have come off the extra base hits that weren't out of the park.
Yeah.
How crucial will that be this weekend?
Well, you asked me that question. Right now, we don't know where we're playing. Western Oregon's field is underwater, and in the meantime, they're checking in to see if we can play over at Concordia, which is a very similar type of field. It's turf. Ball doesn't travel real well. Kind of fits their style of play a little bit better than ours. I'd like to get some balls in the gap. I tell you what, that you get a ball in the gap at Concordia and you can run for a long time. So that's what we're hoping happens.
And that'll help out because some of the guys that are hitting the ball in the gap, RJ and Helm, they've got wheels.
Oh yeah. Well, we got some guys that can run a little bit, so you would think that we'd be more of a small ball team, but I think we're pretty good at doubles, triples, home runs, and also we're pretty good at stealing bases. We do have to get better at moving runners and scoring runners from third with less than 2 outs, and we don't want to become one of those clubs that lives and dies by the long ball. That's kind of tough. But right now we're doing a lot of things okay, but the things that we're not doing okay are the types of things that can really lead to losses. So we're going to hit this week with some good things and try to score more runs with our outs.
One thing we haven't mentioned, the pitching staff. We talked at the start of the year, and 2 of the guys that you had penciled in as starters are in relief roles. Nyborg, the closer, and Blake Mitchell has been middle relief, long relief guy. But I think the thing that's most impressive is every one of the starters seems to be moving into late season form, pitching very well, giving you guys a chance to win. How nice is it to see the staff? It seems like just really starting to take off now.
Yeah, I am very, very encouraged by our pitching right now. Loomis and Jacobs, that's just a nice 1-2. Clevenger, we're bringing along, a young guy who's given us some great innings. And then, the one guy that we had penciled in as far as at the beginning of the season was Pilgrim as a reliever. And now he's showing that he gives us quality innings as a starter with his ability to mix speeds and hit spots and just be a son of a gun out there. I mean, he competes. Then, my gosh, you got Nyborg and Mitchell out of the pen now. That's kind of fun. And plus March. So our bullpen's getting solidified. Our starting rotation's getting solidified. And I really feel good about where our pitching staff is.
We talk about early season lead. 50 games scheduled, but 40 of it's conference play. So how much of these first 2 weeks will carry over for what will be another, 8 weeks?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think what it does is just tells our guys that we can play at this level and that we can play in this league. The teams at the top of the conference, we need to prove that we belong with them. I think the last couple of years, we just haven't really showed that. And then we played for the conference championship the last game of the year, and I think maybe we can make some noise in this conference. So I think right now we're setting the tone that. Telling our guys, getting that belief that we can make some noise in this conference.
Any surprises so far? I mean, we're 20 games into the season, and we've seen some rotation at first base, some rotation at DH, mixing up the pitching staff. Anybody that stepped out and really proven themselves so far?
Surprises, I would say, in a way, it's a surprise. Is Pilgrim being a starter? Now, we've always known he can pitch. But was he going to be a starter? I'm not going to say that I knew that, so that one's kind of been of a surprise. I'm a little surprised at kind of the revolving door at first. We need to kind of solidify that. I think DH will always play that hot hand. And right now that hot hand's kind of the freshman Redford. He just gives us so many quality at bats, and a lot of times we're just looking at people that compete, and right now he's able to handle the pressure. So right now he's the one coming through the door.
You mentioned the possibility of being at home this weekend against Western Oregon. How tough would that make it? First 4 series at home, you'd be on the road for a month before you get another home series.
Yeah, no, we wouldn't go there. We wouldn't play at Western Oregon. They would have to come here twice simply because of our situation. Yeah, we can't. That would be pretty tough on our guys academically. I think I would have some professors with a lynch noose looking for me if I did something like that. So, no, that probably won't happen. We're already going to be on the road 3 weeks in a row, which is enough. Our guys are going to have to grind it out in the classroom and on the field. It's going to be rough.
Appreciate you joining us, Coach. I know you got to get to practice. You got a busy week getting ready for the Wolves. I want to remind you fans, check the NNUsports.com schedule to find out if the guys are home or away. If they're on the road, those games should be on the internet for you to watch. Next weekend, hosting Central Washington, and looking at the standings right now, battle for first place in 2 weeks. So appreciate it, Coach. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you, Mike.
The Crusader baseball team was in action at home hosting Montana State Billings in a 4-game series. The Crusaders picked up the Game 1 win, fueled by a 10-run inning that saw Tyler Davis, Brett Nielsen, and Ryan Johnson all hit home runs. The Crusaders picked up the series finale victory 3-1. Also in action at home were the Crusader golfers, who swept a dual match with the College of Idaho. Ian Brisk and Keenan Fanslow won on the men's side, each shooting 2 under 70s. Samantha Miller, shown here, won the women's title with a 4 over 76 as the Crusaders swept the day from the Coyotes.